Hi, Vince Price here, spiritual medium, psychic, and all that sort of stuff. And as you can see, my flipping hair hasn't grown back yet, so another story, a bit awkward on that one. But there you go. Today, I want to do a little bit of a blog on mediumship because this is something that has really come to my awareness over the last few years. And this is something that I'm a little bit passionate about. So I'm not out to offend anybody because obviously we all have our own ways of working really. Um, but I've noticed more and more that there's so much emphasis now on evidence. And don't get me wrong, evidence is important because if you're bringing somebody through from the other side to a recipient, you've got to prove beyond doubt that that is the person that you're saying it is. Because gone are the days when you can say, "Oh, I've got your granddad here, and he's a lovely old man, and he tells you he loves you, and that's it." Gone are those days. We can't get away with that sort of stuff anymore. So yeah, emphasis definitely on evidence, evidence, evidence. But what I've noticed and what I've heard, if this is true, that the message doesn't seem to be so important anymore. Because in the past, when I used to go along to see spiritual mediums, they would provide sort of a reasonable amount of evidence, and then they go straight into the message. Basically, this is the words that are supposedly being brought forward from the spirit. So it could be guidance, it could be just simply telling you how much they love you and care about you and watching over you. But as you probably can guess that a lot of times the messages don't really provide a lot of proof unless obviously the message relates to something that is evidential, like saying to you that maybe you're going on holiday tomorrow, have a good time, and you know for a fact that you are going on holiday tomorrow, and hopefully you're going to have a good time. So that's evidence based. So a lot of messages from mediums aren't necessarily always evidence based. They're just sort of general, sort of uh, hoping to make the person that the message has been given to feel good. And that's not a bad thing, really, is it? Because at the end of the day, as long as the recipient is happy, that's all that matters. So, and this is important. Another thing I really want to point out, which I have noticed, that is how much time to us mediums spend with the client once we've sort of done reading for them. How much time do we actually spend with them after that? Do we just send them on their way and say thank you very much? There'll be, I don't know, 25 quid for maybe an hour session. Do we just send them on their way? Or do we actually sit with them and talk to them and sort of find out, what's been going on in their lives, and if we can offer any sort of guidance and support from our own sort of wisdom and intuitive sort of side of things. Now, for me, without a doubt, that I have always been healer orientated. I started out as a healer before I became a spiritual medium. I don't know how I ever really became a spiritual medium, but healing was my passion. And to a degree, it still is because I'm still fascinated that I can place my hands on somebody and take their pain away from them. And actually, I've got people that come back to me from the past that's saying that I cured them. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but amazingly, I've had some very good responses from my healing. And I remember once I actually burnt somebody's backside, so that's another story. But apparently, because it was my hands that were so hot that luckily the boyfriend was in the room with the girl I was healing at the time, who confirmed to me that nowhere did my hands go on that lady's bottom. So, for all you people out there thinking I've got a bit of a kinky side, you're wrong. I made sure I kept my hands well away from any sensitive areas. And the boyfriend that was in the room at the time could confirm that. Anyway, going off the subject a little bit. So, healing to me is what mediumship's all about. You have to be able to help a person because 9 times out of 10 when a person comes to see you, they're coming to hear from a loved one, and generally they're coming to hopefully get some sort of confirmation that the person they want to hear from is still around, in a good place, in a great place, and that they're still watching over them. And so this is the purpose of a a spiritual medium, is to prove life after to death. Okay, which is great, and all that sort of stuff. But we've got to remember that a lot of people that come and see us are vulnerable. They're going through some sort of maybe grief. Often when you have grief, you have guilt that comes along with it. I've lost count of how many times people beat themselves up over things they'd wished they'd done or said or hadn't said or whatever, and it's too late, So get a handle on the guilt. Help to work with the client, help them to understand that, there's no reason for them to punish themselves, and to let go of any guilt. And if it's, in a sense, forgive themselves. Because, I often find that people will hold on to pain because it replaces the physical loss. So we don't want that. We want people to go through their grieving process and then come out the other side and get on with life. This is so. To me, being a medium is helping people in that sort of when they're in a situation in life where they're going through difficulties, whether it be through a relationship breakup, like you say, losing somebody, grief, or needing guidance. It's important that we give them that guidance, and that doesn't necessarily always have to come from spirit. It can come from your own wisdom. It can come from your own psychic or intuitive nature, gifts, if you want to call it. So we're gonna make sure that person goes out that door after you've given them a reading, feeling happy, and that they can sort of get on with life and carry on. So let's remember that guidance and messages are important, and as long as they're positive, as long as we're responsible for what comes out of our mouth, and that we're not going to sort of sow any seeds of negativity. Yes, definitely the message is very important. People sometimes say to me, I'm a little bit like Jeremy Kyle. They feel like they're with a counsellor. And I often say to people that when they come and see me, if I was going to counsel you, I'd just be sitting here listening to you. I wouldn't be saying a word. I might be nodding or whatever, but I certainly won't be, telling you what to do. So when people, when they've had the reading with me and I sort of come through with guidance, I'm talking to them. I'm not sitting there listening. I'm talking to them and trying to give them some sort of tips, some ideas, and how they can deal with the situation. And that comes from my own experience working with people, that it's important that we listen to them. It's important that we give them positive guidance, help them to understand that things like guilt don't need to be around. To let them understand that they did their best. And so guys, if we are practicing mediums out there, don't forget, healing is the most important part of working as a spiritual medium. Helping people in their life to go forward and to understand that life does continue after the physical death. Thank you very much.